All right, so I'm just gonna do this intro and we're gonna get started.
Bet.
Welcome back to the Sip My Thoughts podcast. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, man, I just appreciate the support, all the comments and love that I've been getting on the content that I've been creating so far. Again, I created this platform because I wanted to tell our stories, specifically Black stories, because I feel like there isn't enough of that being done in what you see in the media today and what's being portrayed by the media. And obviously, it's not always a media deal, but there's always a lot of times, if something as bad is happening in our community, that's one of the things that's quickly put on the forefront. But it's also important to tell these Southern Black stories and Black stories in general. And today we're gonna continue to do just that. So on today's episode, I have Chef Michael Bennett, and I've been keeping up with some of his work that I've seen on social media and things like that. And I don't know how prevalent Black chefs are in this space, but as a young Black man, I'm sure that it's pretty difficult, a pretty difficult space to navigate. And just based on everything that I see on his social media, he crazy, he crazy with these recipes and everything. So, hey, bro, I just like to welcome you to the show, man, and I appreciate you taking some time out for me.
No problem. Glad to be here, man.
So, I guess I'll start with, what inspired you to be in the field that you are today, and did you always know that you wanted to be a chef?
Oh man, no. I was in school. I thought I wanted to be a pharmacist at one point. I thought I wanted to be a nurse. I thought I wanted to be in healthcare. So
Mhm.
then when the pandemic started, I mean, I always cooked too. So I always cooked for like friends. I always cooked to eat. My dad was a good cook. I used to watch videos on Facebook. I used to watch Chop on Food Network about cooking. I always could cook. But at the beginning of the pandemic, when I got fired from my job, I had to like figure out some type of way to make some money. And my friends were like, just cook again, because I was good at that when I did it. So I did the little plates, I did the private dinners, and it kind of just took off. And now I'm here. And I'm kind of good at it, so
Yeah, yeah.
keeping it going.
Them pictures I'll be seeing is crazy, but
Yeah, I got better. Those pictures always didn't look that
right,
good.
right, right, right. I'm sure. I'm sure. I mean, let's start at the very bare minimum. I mean, as a child, I mean, did you have a cooking bug then, or was it?
Oh no, 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 no. As a child growing up, I think I didn't start cooking until maybe high school. And then even with high school, I remember one of my best friends coming over. I used to make like the noodles and I used to add shrimp to it and put cheese. Like it was like really shrimp Alfredo or something. So
Yeah.
no, I really wasn't cooking back then. I really didn't start cooking until I came to college, because back home my dad did all the cooking, so I didn't really need to cook.
Hmm.
But when I came to college, that's when I really started cooking. Now, back in the day, I wasn't doing no cooking. My dad did everything.
Right. So, are you from Oxford originally?
Now I'm from Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay, dope, dope. I'm from Jackson too. What part of Jackson you
Yeah,
from?
I'm from the West Jackson. I'm from the Queens.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Shoot, I was about. I lived probably like 5 minutes away from there when I was in.
Yep, I live right behind Rains Elementary.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got cousins that lives over there. That's crazy. It,
Yep.
it's always funny how you meet people from Jackson, and y'all really aren't that far apart. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. That's dope. That's
And Jackson's just so big, so you just don't really realize everybody who's there until you go somewhere else and be like, "Where you from, Jackson?" Oh, me too.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
So look, obviously the pandemic was, it was an adjustment for everybody. I mean, people are still.
Hmm.
I'm personally still adjusting from the pandemic myself. But I know you were talking about. I think you lost your job around that time. What were you doing specifically? And just talk about that period where I mean, after losing a job. I mean, I know that's tough because it's happened to me.
Hmm.
Um, just talk about the space that you were in, mentally, physically, and emotionally, and how that birthed, who you are today as a chef.
Well, I was back March. So yeah, at the end of this month, it's been a year since I got fired. So in March 31st, when I did get fired, I was pretty sad. I'm like, dang, what am I gonna do? It's a pandemic. Like, I ain't gonna be able to find no job. So going forward, past that day, I tried to apply for different jobs. I did little things on what's the little app that you do job, whatever it was. I did job applications. I even tried to apply for different restaurants. I never worked in a restaurant, but I got some pictures of my food. Granted, it didn't look as good as it look now, but I got pictures of my food, like just give me a chance. And I almost got hired at a job, but right at that point, they were shutting down. It was right when everything started shutting down because of the virus and everything. I'm like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna pay rent. I ain't gonna have no money after a while. It's gonna be crazy. So I was depressed for like a few weeks. I think like I was just in my room. I used to lay in the dark. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then I just started. They told me to do plates. I think I sold plates in Oxford first, and then I went home and sold plates. And it was just so many people bought the plates because before that, like folks was looking at my food, but so many people bought plates. I'm like, man, I might could do this. Mm-hmm. So after that point, I started doing like the private dinners and stuff, and it just went from there. It went quickly too.
Yeah. So starting with the private dinners, I mean, I know that. How was that first experience? Trying to, were you scared? Were you nervous? Like, damn, I hope they
Oh,
like.
I was scared. Oh yeah, cause it's hard. I don't really like people watching me cook. So when I do private dinners, not going to their homes and not cooking, I really just do not like for people to watch me cook. Not saying that I do anything wrong. I'd be nervous. So going to somebody else's kitchen and cooking, I have to like bring all my seasonings, all my utensils. It's a lot to pack. Like I honestly don't really like doing private dinners to be real because it's basically I have to pack up my whole kitchen, have it neat, unpack it at the house, cook everything, wash, pack it back up, take so yeah, the first private dinner I did, I was like really nervous because actually for another chef Mississippi, so like Lord, and he already did private dinner. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be terrible. But they liked it, and then as I went forward, I got more used to doing the private dinners. I knew what to pack, I knew what to bring. It got better. But that first one, I was terrified. I was by myself. It was only for two people, so yeah, I wasn't good with like plating food yet either. Mm-hmm. So that was another thing. I like this not gonna be good. But that actually worked out pretty well. And from that event, I got more people and I kind of got used to it. It kind of worked in my favor. But no, private dinner is not like the thing I like to do.
Right. I bet.
I learned that.
So how did you get more people, in tune with what it was that you were doing? I mean, I feel like a lot of people have birthed a lot of ideas, going through the pandemic and things of that nature. But mm-hmm. So you started doing private dinners, and obviously that went well for you. And just talk about the response that you began to get, after doing the private dinners and things like that, and how you continue to progress.
Well, if we talk about that part, I had to talk about before I really got fired. So before I got fired from Walgreens, I sold plates maybe three or four times. Mm-hmm. So I sold plates. So people kind of knew that I cooked. So once I got fired, I did say I was gonna start doing stuff more with cooking. Like people kind of knew and taste my food. So more so word of mouth by that point. Mm-hmm. So when I started in the private dinner, I did the same thing. I had the Instagram page. I started posting the pictures. If folks, oh my God, I want to try your food. And before I would do private dinners and stuff, I was posting my food anyway. So folks just like, oh, I can't wait to taste it. So when I did the private dinners, I posted I was doing private dinners. Then folks started hitting me up. They'll post and say, the food was good. So it really was word of mouth, the pictures. I had a friend who do all my flyers, and to this day, she still do all my flyers and announcements and stuff. So she does really well on doing that. So I think it just grabbed people's attention. Plus me posting the actual pictures and I guess, like I said, word of mouth. And from the people who had plates, they was like, oh, do you know somebody who cooking? And they'll recommend me. And it really just went from there. Like, I honestly don't know how even with the private dinners, how it went so well for me to find people. Because once I started, I really never had a day where I was like stressed about, I don't know who's going to book me. Because like folks was always talking to me. And I did meal preps. And that was a great thing I did with meal prep. So.
Would you say that, so like, again, like I was just saying, I feel like the pandemic kind of forces you to get outside of your comfort zone and find something else that you're either good at or find something else that you wanted to do that you probably
Mhm.
were tinkering with a little bit beforehand, but you didn't just dive head first into it. So it seems like what you're saying is like you've or obviously now you've officially dived head first into it, but after that initial response and like I said, everything that you were going through as far as the meal prepping and the private dinners and things like that are concerned, would you say that being a chef is your passion and that's what you should have been doing in the first place?
No, I should have been doing my mom and dad should have been filthy rich so I didn't have to work. But no, no, I think this is something I really enjoy doing. So I really do think it is my passion. But I ain't gonna say I should have been doing this years ago because I mean God works everything out in his own time. And so if I would have started years ago, I probably wouldn't be in this point right now. So I think everything that happened for me worked out in my timeline for me. I probably should have left Walgreens a little earlier because I was talking about leaving anyway. And I didn't like the job at all, but it's kind of like when you get used to something. I was there for 5 years, so when you get used to working at something, it's just hard for you to leave. But no, I don't regret staying at Walgreens. Like I said, everything played out for my benefit. If I didn't get fired, I wouldn't have had the same story to tell, and people won't want to listen to it. So, um, yeah, it is my passion. I do really enjoy doing what I do now, especially the point where I get to travel and do it now. So I'm not stuck in Mississippi.
Right, right, right. So I see that you were able to participate in the NBA bubble last year.
Yeah,
Just talk about how that process even began, and
yeah.
how that even came about for you.
I don't even know why I'm supposed to even be at the bubble, man. That really was a crazy experience. When I first got the call and they asked me if I want to come, like this is a prank call. Like this ain't real. They ain't really supposed to be calling me. But in June, I think it was, I did a dinner for my cousin. They asked me to do a dinner, supposed to be a private dinner, for about 14 people. They wanted a steak dinner, blah blah blah. So I did the dinner. It was like an all day event. Like it was mashed potatoes, steak, I think bacon wrapple asparagus. I did cheesecakes. Cool. Worked all day long. My sister helped me. We brought in place charges. I say all this to say when I left the dinner that night, we left at maybe 10.
Mhm.
And something just told me, hey Mike, I at first I didn't even use Twitter that much. Something was like, Michael, just post this on Twitter. I don't know, God, somebody told me to post it on Twitter.
Mhm.
So I posted on Twitter in the next 3 days. I think it was over 5 or 6 thousand shares, and over 2 million people that saw it. So that right there got me with a NBA player who wanted me to cook during the off season.
Mhm.
I didn't know anything about the bubble at this point. I don't think that was actually mentioned on bubble. So I wanted to cook for the off season. I was like, okay, cool, just hit me up. I never did the private dinners. I mean the private chef life like that, but I'd be willing to do it. So about a couple of weeks later, he called me again. He was like, "Oh, bro, you got a great opportunity. They let us bring our own chefs to the bubble. Would you be interested in doing that?" I was like, "Sure."
Right.
I still didn't know what the bubble was. Like I still didn't really know what the bubble was.
Yeah.
I was like, "Sure." So I figured out what the bubble was. Even though I watch sports, I still didn't know what the bubble was.
Mhm.
So after that, his agent started calling me. So we figuring out stuff to get me to the bubble. And then in the same agency, another player's agent called. He was like, "Hey, I see you coming down for this player. Do you want to cook for somebody else too right down here?" I was like, "Yes, the more money, I'll cook for everybody who else want to
Right,
eat."
right, right.
So the first player ended up waiting. He said he was gonna wait till like August to get me the end of August. So I told the other agent player, like, "Hey," he said he gonna wait. I don't know, do your player still want me to come down there?
Mhm.
So he like, "I want to call him to see." So about the next day he called me back. He like, "Yeah, he still wants you to come if you want to come." I have nothing to lose. And what's crazy is I contemplated about going for days. I went out of town to Atlanta with my friend. Like, "Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna take this. I don't really think this is a real gig. Like, why they calling me? I ain't never did no private chef. Why they calling me?" And they were like, "Man, this is a one in a lifetime opportunity. You might well take it." So anyway, I ended up taking it and going to the bubble. And so that's how I got to the bubble. Really crazy.
Right.
Really crazy story.
That just shows you the power of the internet, also, man. I mean, you manifest something, and before you know it, like your world has been turned upside down. That's crazy.
That's it. And honestly, the internet is how I found all my how my clients found me. Because at first I didn't even reach out to players to ask Lenny the chef. Like I didn't do any of that. They found me and asked did I want to come cook. So that's really another crazy thing that I never had to reach out. I always knew I kind of want to do the private chef, the personal chef life. Because like I said, that whole meal prep was cool, but the whole private dinner stuff, it was just, I don't think that was for me. Mm-hmm. So it's just crazy how God worked it out and let them found me, and it just started my career. And I started on such a high level to go straight to the bubble. To be the first thing I ever did, I went straight to the bubble. So that was crazy.
So talk about the experience within the bubble. I mean, because just from the outside looking in, you see what's going on TV, and I think they did a chef profile on one of the lady chefs. I think she was from Newark, New Jersey. So I saw, you know, the whole process, the grind, where they stayed at, and things like that. But from your perspective, talk about how everything that the bubble was for you, and you know how difficult or how easy it may have been for you while in the bubble.
Well, I just want to say the video, if anybody ever seen that video that they did on that woman, that was not my job. I was not as busy as she was. Because what she was hired by the NBA in itself to cook. So she had like a whole industrial kitchen and she cooked for whoever ordered from her website. She cooked and they took the food to her. I was hired by a player. So I actually didn't stay in a bubble like she did. So I wasn't as restricted. We did have to sign contracts to say that we wouldn't hang out or we wouldn't go to many places, you know, because of COVID and all that stuff. But I wasn't stuck in a bubble like she was. So for my job, since I was hired by a player, I stayed out of the bubble. I cooked every day, grocery shop for myself, unlike her. And I delivered to the bubble, which they changed protocol every other week, but I delivered to the bubble. And the first day I delivered, it was kind of like really scary. You had like a pass to get you. It was like different hotels too, but I think the players stayed between 3 hotels, but it was secure. So you had a pass to get you past the first gate. Then you had another, I think it was another gate that you got through with the same pass, but they had to like see who you were, blah, blah, blah. Then you had to find the right side where it's for food delivery. Good. Everything that was delivered to the bubble or to the players had like its own designated spot. So you had to find a food delivery spot. When you found that spot, you had to like call somebody, come get the food, take it to the players. So you never interacted with the players while you was delivering to the bubble. Like you could see them walking around, but you weren't supposed to like talk to them, speak to them. You didn't touch the bags. You just gave the food to somebody else, they took it to them. So it was like the first few days, it was kind of like scary. I'm like, I hope I'm going to the wrong spot. I hope I don't get in trouble. I hope I didn't wipe everything down. It just make sure you're doing all the protocols right. But other than that, after the first week, it kind of like my nerves settled. It was just me cooking. Once the player I was cooking for liked all the food, I was happy. I was like, okay, I can do this. So, I started relaxing and I got used to it. But it was a different experience, especially being my first time doing something like this and being on such a high level. It was different. But now the bubble was really cool. I just wish we was able to like go to the games or actually interact, get a picture with the players and stuff. But it was actually really secure. So they did a really good job with the bubble.
That's dope. In between the downtime that you had, I'm just wondering if there was a moment where you just sat back and thought, damn, a few months ago, I was here. And now a few months later, I'm here. Did you have that type of moment?
I think I had that moment every week I got paid.
That's real.
Every week I got paid. I was like, wow. I was like really stressed about what I was gonna do. And I was like, no, I really got fired from a job that I thought I liked at one point. And now I'm here, like in Florida, in sunny Florida, living in a nice apartment, cooking for NBA player. Like, wow, this is crazy. I don't really, sometimes like, am I dreaming? Is really what I'm at now? So yeah, every week I think I thought about that.
That's cool.
And it was crazy. I left the bubble. My original contract, I left. It had to be the second round of the playoffs. I'm thinking I left early September because the player I cooked for played for the Denver, and that series they had went down 3-1. So I was like, okay. I went home because, like I said, I was done. We all was thinking like, oh, they're gonna lose, so it ain't no point in me staying in Florida. Yeah. So they started winning again. I got the call back from the agent. He's like, do you want to go back to Florida? And they look like they're gonna come back. And they was up. It was 3-2 or 3-3 at that time when he called me back. It had to be 3-2. Yeah. I was like, yeah, sure. I go to the bubble. So the same day I was getting I never forget, I was at the tire shop getting my tire fixed. He come like, you want to go to the bubble? That same day, I went and packed my bags and flew back to Florida. And cooked for like another 3 or 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was really just a great experience. Then it was at that moment I realized that, hey, I might can be a chef, because if he liked my food that much to fly me back down to cook longer, I must have doing something right down there.
Exactly.
So yeah, it was cool, man.
That's dope. Man. So after leaving the bubble and transitioning back into not necessarily what you were doing before, but talk about how your life changed after the bubble.
Shoot. I really didn't have it long to like think about it. So when I came back from the bubble the second time, once it was almost over, when I was in the bubble, I really didn't tell people where I was at or what I was doing. So when I finally came back, I kind of made that announcement on social media that, hey, I was at the bubble, I cooked for this long. So, I got a lot of congratulations, a lot of praise from that. Now a lot of people want to, to book me. Can you come here and cook? Blah, blah, blah. Can you come here and cook? So I was home maybe, I'm going to say 2 weeks. But before I even left the bubble, I knew I was going to be in Mississippi long, because I had already talked to an agent about going to California to cook for a player. So I already knew I was leaving. So it wasn't like I was trying to book anything while I was in Mississippi. I really came home to Mississippi to switch clothes out, because I was going from Florida to California. So I came home to switch clothes. Yeah. So it was like, people was really proud that I was able to do that. I told the story about how I was fired, and, God blessed me to be in the point where I went to the bubble and cooked. So it was just a lot of praise. If you want to know my experience, people did like papers on me and stuff like that in the interview while I was still in the bubble. So it's kind of like a lot of people just want to know my story at that point, and then they wanted to book me to, I guess, taste the food, see if the hype was really real. Right. But I really didn't have time to do anything while I was in Mississippi. I was just getting stuff together before I left again.
Damn. It's like just the whole experience. Like I can only imagine, you know what I'm saying, how that was for you. I mean, it's surreal in a sense. I mean, and then, if you're a faith-based person, I mean, it just goes to show, like, life knocks you down unexpectedly, but you have that strength and that endurance to get back up and look what it led to.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, I believe all of it was just God's plan. And like, I had the voices, like the signs, to say I should have started cooking, but I think he knew I wasn't gonna just quit working at Walgreens. He had to like force me out, right, for his plan to like work out in my favor. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm happy it went that way. Like, I was worried when I first got fired, but everything planned out. And every time I was like looking for, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm like, I'm gonna work it out eventually. And whenever I said that, like, that's when I got introduced to the bubble. While I was in the bubble, that's how I got introduced to the California gig. So it was just like, he worked everything out. Even now, I said the same thing when I came back from DC. I was like, I don't know where I'm going next, but he gonna work it out like he been doing. So I posted on Twitter again, and now it's going viral again. Now I got people hitting me up about going to cook at other places. So everything just works out in its due time, and I guess.
Absolutely. I made sure I retweeted it when I saw it yesterday also. So, I mean, so you're like an independent contractor now. So you're, I guess for hire is what you would call it.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay. So in that downtime, like, what are you doing? What are you doing now, in order to make sure that your skills and stuff are still sharp?
Oh man, nothing. I am getting ready for a vacation.
Probably much needed.
Yeah, I'm getting ready for a vacation now. When I was in DC, I had like 2 weeks off because the person I'm working with, the wizard was traveling so much in the last month. So I had like 2 weeks off. So I would cook, do new recipes and stuff like that. But now since I've been back in Mississippi since Saturday, I cooked once. I made gumbo for my dad. Other than that, I've been like, I was in Jackson, so now I'm back in Oxford trying to get everything ready. I'm gonna go on vacation. Maybe when I come back, I'm gonna, do some stuff like that, but nothing. I watched some videos of recipes and stuff, and I'm not doing anything. I don't want to see a knife or fork, nothing. I don't want to cook.
I feel you. So look, I saw your tweet yesterday, and I thought it was really, I mean, hindsight is definitely 2020, but I thought
Mm,
that this was really important because it just kind of goes to show, a lot of people talk about wanting to live the entrepreneur life, and not wanting to work, the 9 to 5 and things like that. And I mean, your tweet said the scariest thing about being an entrepreneur is not knowing who's my next client at night. No, you said the scariest thing about being an entrepreneur is not knowing who's my next client. But at night, when I'm worried, God reminds me that at one point I didn't know I would even be here. Just tell me a little bit about, what made you, oh, I mean, where did that thought even come in your mind to where, like I said, it's kind of like a hindsight is 2020 type of thing, but
yeah.
that level of comfort that you feel. I mean,
But like I said, before I even got to the book, like I always say, like God's gonna work everything out in my favor regardless. But the past 8, 9 months that I was working, whether it was in Florida, California, DC, like I always knew what the next step was. Like I always knew I was going this place with this player, blah blah blah. This was like the first time that um I have came home and I wasn't coming home just to leave and go work to another city with somebody else.
Mhm.
So I was like I was telling my folks, I was like, I'm really kind of nervous because I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I might have to go back to selling plates, I might have to do meal preps, which is not a bad thing. I just didn't know what was the next step. And it just I sit there and that thought just came in my head. It was like, well, I really didn't know I would be this far in my career because it's a lot of people that cooks. Like it's a lot of people call themselves a chef. So God could have picked anybody to, be in my position. So I didn't know I would be here, but I am. So I may not know the next step or where I'm going next,
Mhm.
but I know that he's gonna work it out in a way that's gonna work in my favor. So even when I made that tweet, well, the first tweet is going viral now, and then I made that one. Literally, maybe an hour or so later, I got a text from my agent in Las Vegas who said he had some players that he's gonna send my name to. They looking for a shelf. So it's like every time I'm worried, I always know that he's going to work it out. And then when I get calm and I say that and I relax, something happens that in my favor. So I'm really a true believer that I really don't know the next step, but I know something will happen soon and I'll be somewhere else.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. So give me your, and I don't even know if you probably think about this type of stuff, but do you have a top 5 chefs that you like to check out, what it is that they're doing and recipes and stuff like that?
Oh, do I? See, I'm really not, I'm like a terrible person because I don't really study people like that.
Yeah,
So I do look at Instagram. So I do look at different hashtags and like see different meals that folks create. But like certain chef, it is so Dwayne Wade chef. I love his story because and his name is Chef Richard. I forgot his man last name. But his story, he started out of culinary school in D Wade's rookie year, and he's been with him since then. So I love his story. He made great food. I look at his stuff. I honestly never cooked anything from his page. I just like looked at his pictures because he did really good on presentations. And I have a friend. His name is Chef Scotty B. He's a private chef now in LA, but he used to be in Atlanta. And I looked at his food. I kind of recreate some of his food, and we talk a lot. But other than that, and I do like Chef J Rob. He's a Atlanta-based chef too. I just like his work ethic. So I looked at people like that, but actually studying them, no, I don't study anybody.
yeah. You know what's crazy? I had a track star on here probably like a week or so ago, probably like a week or 2 weeks ago, and you know, she's kind of the same way. I mean, she just get to the track and she did what she needed to do, and that's it. Like she when she leave the track, she said, track isn't even on her mind. And fast forward, she was so cold at it. I mean, she uh she was one of the she's one of the ladies who ran the 4x100 meter race in the 2012 London Olympics, and she's a gold medalist. Like she's
Mm-hmm.
an Olympian. And when I was just talking to her about the history of the sport, and I mean, she knows the history of the sport, but she's kind of like you. She's just like, I just went to the track and did what I need to do. And she knows the history, but it's just like, everybody isn't just so wrapped up in the history of, either the
Yeah.
sport, even the culinary space as well. So that's
Well, my issue was when I first started, I did kind of like look at people, but my problem was I would get into that. I would let comparison like steal my joy. Even when I first went to the bubble, and that was like a great accomplishment. I never went to culinary school. I never cooked, blah, blah, blah. It was great for me being a bubble cookie. But when I let myself get on Instagram and social media, and I look at other chefs, and they were like, they might do 5 events in one day, or they'll do something. I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that. And I just had to keep reminding myself, like, you where you supposed to be. Like, you can't let that comparison hurt you or make you feel like you less than one or you don't belong here. So
exactly.
that's one reason I really stopped looking at other chefs like that, because it messes with my own mindset.
Mhm.
So now I just gonna keep trying to do what I gotta do when I get out the kitchen. And that be the end of it.
Oh, that's smart. That's smart. I feel that. I feel that. I feel like the internet, it definitely shows you a lot. People show you, a lot of their lines, but the saying goes, everybody isn't posting, their ups and downs. Also, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, I totally get that. I totally understand that. Give me your top 5 dishes that you like to cook. I'm gonna just tell you
Oh,
when I saw you post that uh the peach cobbler, I was like, oh, that look crazy. That look good. That
they're
look
not.
so good.
That's not even my favorite. I don't know. I have 5. My top dish is pasta, but see, I can do pasta so many different ways. So pasta would be like 4 out of the 5 that I like to do.
Yeah.
So it's pasta. I love do steak. Let's see. I really be forgetting what I cook, so I really don't know. Oh, those lamb chops I did, those sweet potato grits the other day. That was really good. That was bomb. Trying to think what else I really like that I cook. It's yep, pasta, steak, lamb chops. But like I said, I really do pasta so many different ways and so many different styles of pasta. I can cook that anyway. And I'm really good at chicken. So I guess chicken would be. I had a pharmacist who said when I used to work at Walgreens that I couldn't mess up chicken. Like every way I cook chicken, she liked it. So
Yeah.
I guess chicken is another one. But yeah,
Yeah.
that lamb chops probably my number one favorite right now.
Okay. Okay. So, what's next for you? I mean, obviously you're still continuing to grow. I mean, the I see it seems like, the pace at which you're growing is, continually and steadily, going upward as well. So, I mean, what's next for you? What do you want to do next? I mean, what more do you want to accomplish? I mean, obviously you're young, so I mean, you got your career is ahead of you, but just
Yeah.
I mean, what's next for you? What more would you like to do?
Um, I'm still figuring out that question myself. I mean, people have asked me to do like weddings, different events, blah blah blah. I honestly I wouldn't mind getting a longer term personal chef gig, so like year or so, get that gig. And my next thing I'm really gonna try to do in the next few months is learn how to ship meal preps. Cause like I said, meal preps was one of the things that got me started too, because before I went to Florida, I was doing meal preps for some of the football players here. I did some of the basketball. So I want to figure out how to ship meal preps to get my meal preps sent across the states and stuff like that. But the next step is, I guess, really just trying to find my next person chef gig, because that's what I truly like to do. I like to travel and just cook like that. I don't want to do the private dinners and stuff like that. So yeah, next is I'm figuring out how to do the meal preps, then trying to close another contract. I mean, I got offers. I'm trying to close other contracts to go other places. So we'll just see where God leads me.
That's dope. That's dope. What would you say to someone who was in a similar position last year, as far as the pandemic affecting their way of life and things of that nature, and they want something better, but they just can't see it at this particular moment. I mean, obviously, you talked about how how you laid in your room in the dark. What I mean, a few times and stuff like that, and they might be going through something similar. So what kind of advice would you have for that person?
Man, you really just gotta have faith. Like you have to pray about it. And you gotta get you can't really tell everybody your business because a lot of people don't have the right intentions in mind when you talk to them. They're like, they don't really want your best intentions. So you have to find that one friend you can actually talk to and confide into, but you have to just pray and just know today would not be the ending of your story. Like it's always gonna be a happy ending. A cloud never rained over one person's house. I saw it in a video one day. It said a cloud never rained over one person's house forever. Like the cloud always moves. Like the sun will eventually shine again. But you have to just find your niche, find what you're good at, pray to God about it, ask him guide you and show you the way, and everything will work out eventually. It's literally that's the only thing I did. Like I literally just prayed. I talked to a couple of my friends I really trusted, and I just kept praying, God, please show me what you want me to do in life. I surrender to you. I'm letting you guide my life. I'm taking myself completely out of it because, like I said, I was applying for jobs, kept getting denied. So I'm just let God do it. And once I gave myself up and let him work everything out, everything just worked out in my favor. And like I said, now I'm here. So a lot of times you can't see the ending because this is not even my ending. It's just a small glimpse of the beginning of my story that I'm probably tell years from now. So you never see the ending or the next step. It's just know it's coming. He didn't put you at this one spot, just leave you here. And that's why I tell myself that every day. This cannot be the spot he gonna leave me at. It's somewhere else I'm going in the future. Like I said, I'm only 23. So for me to accomplish all this at 23 just is great.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, you got a lot of time to, ideas, recipes. Shoot, maybe, maybe your own restaurant or something someday.
Nope, I don't want that.
No restaurant.
I don't want a restaurant. I can't do a cookbook. People ask me when I'm say out a cookbook. I cook like an old black woman. I don't measure anything. I was telling somebody I season chicken for a color. I don't even know how much stuff I put in. I season for a color, so I can't even tell nobody how to season chicken like I do.
Yeah, so your hands are touched there. Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. I mean, like you said, you think about it, our grandparents didn't measure nothing. They just made it happen.
Now, I'm talking about measure if I'm baking a cake. That's the only thing I can't do, just eyeballing. I'll bake a cake, but right. Cheesecakes, cooking, I don't measure anything, nothing.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So with your success, obviously things around you change. How would you say, people that you were interacting with before you went to the bubble, now that you're back, how has that changed, or has it changed at all?
Let's see. How it hasn't. What you say? What you supposed to say?
I was asking because I've seen some of your tweets before when you talk about, how people, as far as support and things like that goes, it's just kind of and I'm paraphrasing, but I know I've definitely seen you tweet something about support and the lack thereof. So I'm just wondering, have people around you change because I see something good is going on in your life?
Now I will say when I initially made those posts, because when I first started trying to get people to share my posts or post on Twitter, blah blah blah, people wouldn't share. And I think I made a tweet a couple months ago, people don't support people until it's popular to support that person. And it's really true. Because the same post that wouldn't share me then, when I started posting that, I was the NBA chef or I was doing this, it kind of I started getting more traffic on my page. Those same folks that didn't support me at first. But I say overall, the interactions are the same. I did find out like who my close friends are when you start, people think you're doing well, they start asking for stuff like that. But I did find out who my close friends are with me being gone for so long and coming back. But now with the support thing, yeah, people do support you once they figure out it's popular to support that person. Like people share my stuff all the time. Like, I'm so proud of him. He been wanting this for years and stuff like this. Like, I don't even know y'all. So
Yeah.
like I don't even know where we even know each other from. So you really only doing this because it's popular to say that. Like, it's popular to say, oh, I knew him at Ole Miss, I knew him in high school. But it's like, no, you didn't, because I don't know you. So
Right.
yeah, and that's you kind of see like who truly supports you for just what you're doing, and like who supports you because they see other folks doing it.
Mhm.
So that has changed. But otherwise, I still see my close friends when I come home, but I don't try to make it like a big party or something like that. I see the closest people in my life.
Right.
But I feel like you can't check on me when I was gone, and no point me running to see you when I'm here either. So
Yep, that's real. That's real. How do your parents feel about everything that's happening in your life thus far?
oh man, that was the worst people to talk to when I was trying to decide to go to the bubble. They're
Yeah.
like, you shouldn't go down there. We don't know no, because my folks are old
Yeah.
country Mississippi folks. We
Mhm.
don't know nobody down there. It's COVID still going around. You don't know these folks. I was like, okay. That was another reason I almost didn't go. I'm like, okay, I don't even feel like explaining to these folks no more. I'm just not gonna go.
Yeah.
Then when I finally got down, they saw it was a legit job. Now they're okay with it. They don't like me being gone so long because they just like me being under their wing close by. But now okay with my dad before we did the Zoom call, my dad called. He wanted to see how can he show one of his friends my food. My dad got a flip phone, so he can't go to social media. So he's trying to see how I can show
Yeah.
one of his friends my food. So yeah, now he really supports me. My mom got masks made with my logo on it now. So yeah, everything has changed compared to when I first went to Florida.
Yeah. That's good. That's good though. Good.
Yeah, my sister share all my posts and say how proud she is on Facebook. So yeah, everything has changed compared to when I first went to Florida. Florida was like, you don't need to go. You stay in Mississippi. You could just say a meal prep. I'm like, yeah, this is a once in an opportunity. It might not ever be a bubble again. We don't know. So, but now they're like, where you going next? Who you cooking for now? So it's different.
Man, kudos to you for stepping out on faith, doing, changing your life, obviously with the help, the man above. And, you know, I mean, I just applaud you. I salute you. And I'm proud of you. And, I don't really, we don't know each other like that, but,
Yeah.
I'm just happy to see anybody black, what I mean, doing whatever it is that they can do in order to further themselves and be better, man. And like I said, these are the type of stories that need to be told because what you're doing is equally as important. And I mean, your story can help someone else, who might be in a dark place at this particular moment. So, I mean, I'm not sure if you really recognize the impact that you may be having, but I'm gonna give you your flowers while you're here, brother. So make
Thank you, man. Thank you.
keep doing what you're doing, and plug your social media, and let everybody know where they can find you at, and what's next for you.
Okay. My Instagram is amorletaste, so it's AMORLETASTE. You can find all my food I post. If you want to talk business, do like a business consult, you can send it to my email, which is chatwithus@altkcatering.com. That's about it. That's the only thing I really give out for my social media. But I mean, you want to follow me on Twitter, it's the guy you are not too. So
Dope, dope, dope. So look, man, this has been another episode of the Semi Thoughts podcast with Chef Michael Bennett, man. Again, life always, things happen in mysterious ways. And I think this is a good example of where you are today is not indicative of where you can be tomorrow. Obviously, with Michael's story, I mean, you've heard it, he's talked about faith and how, stepping out on faith allowed him to, move and progress into a position and into a gig to where, like you said, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So, when things don't don't go your way in life, there's all types of things you can do. I mean, a lot of people will quit, but this is a great story and a great example of how not quitting and, not sitting on your ass allowed him to, progress and continue to level up in life. And, I just encourage everybody who's listening to, listening to this particular episode or any of the episodes, you know, there's a lot of stories of resilience on this podcast. And I definitely think Michael's story is another story of resilience. And now he's traveling traveling the country, doing something that he loves to do. So, take this into consideration. And again, Michael, I appreciate you, bro. This has been another episode of the Semi Thoughts podcast. The pod is available wherever you listen to pods, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google, Spotify, all those places. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you think about the content that I'm producing. Until next time. Michael, I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me. Sorry we couldn't do it last time.
Oh no, it's all good, man. You know how technology is.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I got it back up and running. But yeah, man. Again, man, I like all your stuff, man. You look crazy with it to me. Like I said, those man, that peach cobbler, I was like, God.
The egg rolls or the nachos? Which one you like?
I think the egg rolls. I was like,
oh yeah.
God damn, that looked crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. It was just something new I was trying.
Man, you did that.
Appreciate it, man.
I don't know when my birthday so come on. I'm trying to hit you up.
Hey man, hit me up. Let me know. That's
sure.
what I do. I travel and cook. That's all I do.
Oh man. Well, congrats, man. Keep it up. I'm gonna keep retweeting and I'm gonna whatever I can do, man. I'm gonna do it for sure.
Appreciate it, bro.
Man, take care. If you need anything from me, just let me know.
Oh wow. Wait, this is the end of the call to freeze up.
Okay,
there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, now I can't freeze up at the end of the call. At least it waits at the end to freeze.
Right, yeah, good. But yeah, like I said, I'm just I'm gonna keep supporting however I can, man. And if you ever need anything from me, just let me know. I'm gonna probably try to get today is Wednesday. I'm off Friday. I'll probably drop it Friday for sure.
Bet that works. I mean, I've been traveling on Friday, but I'll see it and I'll share it and stuff. So it's cool.
For sure. Appreciate it, bro.
All right, be safe out here, bro.
You too, man. Take care.
Yes, sir.